What's going on, Bland? What's up, Star Girl? Y'all share the stream. See if we can turn these beat up tonight. Go ahead. Gonna send this out to a few people. Let them come on up in here. Thank y'all for pulling up. Alright. Few more people to share this thing too. Give me a moment. Hope everybody's having an awesome night. Um, and I think that's it. Yeah. Happy Friday Eve to you as well. Two fingers, dude. How are you? How's everybody doing tonight? Alright. Alright, so thank y'all. Once again, share the stream, like the stream, and let's get into this. So I got one question before we start this thing. How many of you were here for spiritual decay? If you were here for spiritual decay, put your life path number in the chat. If you wasn't here for spiritual decay, put a 0 in the chat. What wisdom? Well, what do you want me to do, man? You beat him up. No, I'm not beating nobody, yo. Beat your knee. Beat your knee. No, no, no. Not beating nobody. All right. Now, so if you were here for spiritual maturity, spiritual decay, this is part 2. If you weren't, it's fine. It's cool. Catch you up real quick. Last time we talked about rust. Y'all remember that? Slow erosion of your soul when you stop checking in with your truth, when you trade integrity for comfort, when external noise replaces your inner guidance. All right? We talked about the signs, losing your compass, chasing dopamine over meaning, right? Chasing dopamine over meaning, right? Just crazy. Excuse me. Feeling empty when life looks good, right? Today, we're talking about the polish, the restoration. Spiritual maturity is what happens when we start to recognize the decay and choose to actively build it. This is the light side to the shadow. This is the discipline that reverses the drift. This is catching yourself before the rut sets in, or scraping it off when you notice that the rust is creeping back in. So if decay was the diagnosis, maturity is the treatment, right? So welcome. And I don't know where everybody from. If you be so kindly to drop your location in the chat so we can see where everybody from, right? Let me see where y'all calling from tonight, because we about to get into some real spill. Some real spill is what we about to get into. Now, all right, everybody simmer down, simmer down, simmer down, simmer down. All right. Oh shit. All right, so check it. I'm gonna start this off with something that literally happened to me yesterday, right? The whole purpose why we here right now. And I think it's gonna set the tone, for everybody, for everything we're thinking about to talk about today. Right? Take your hand off your mouth. All right. So y'all know I'm on this one blunt regimen deal, right? And so, it's a part of my whole self discipline on repairing my voice. And so I already had it was not all of it, but I had not even half of it, right? My blunt. So me and the missus, we go outside. I'm feeling good, I done got up. I'm usually dragging, but I wasn't. I got up, got ready for work, boom. I'm buzzed, got a nice little deal going on, feeling good, everything's cool. It's like 5:15 a.m. Headed to the car. Sun ain't even up yet. Get about 40 feet from the car, boom. Guess what I see? Flat fucking tire. Now, in the past, events like this would occur, and on this regimen, I would have went back in the house, came back in the house, fired up the rest of that blunt. But, you know, I would have been stressed, frustrated, and I definitely would have went back in the house and finished the blunt, just to cope with the situation, just to ease my mind, right? And would have been like, man, it's some bullshit, and for for me in the past, I was one of those individuals that, always, I may not have said it, but in a few times I thought, man, why me? Out of everybody else on the planet, out of everybody else in my surroundings, why me? So when I seen the shit, right, my first thought was, I asked my lady, I'm like, shit, what you run over? Then she was like, no, no, you did that. I was like, shit, what I run over? And so, you know, turned around, walked back to the house, but then like, nah, and go back to the car, call my job, hey, I ain't gonna be able to come in, and I'll be there if I can, right? So I always try to look at the glass being half full. Like if I am late for work, right, getting caught by a train, right? Or for this instance, the flat tire on the truck. Maybe something along the way, I would have been caught up in. I looked at it as protection over a punishment or a why me moment, right? And so, I went to thinking all kind of crazy shit. Like, what if it's a major accident on the interstate and I just avoided it? Or what if, it's some petty police out there and I just, you know, got out of being fucked with? Or it went down at work and I avoided it. Just come on, by goodness. And so, you know, all of that kind of shifted timing, right? So I'm gonna ask y'all, did y'all see what just happened there? Before I got upset, I caught myself before I fucking spiraled out of control, went to slanging my hat and pulling my hair and cussing shit and pacing back and forth, worrying about spending more money on a tire, missing a day's work that could have went towards that tire. Just I could have been thinking about all of this. But before I reacted, I recognized the test that I was in at the moment, you know? And that's pretty much what we're here to talk about today: spiritual maturity. Now, before yesterday, I didn't even know what the damn term meant. I was in a conversation with Chat, right? Chat GPT, AI. I know some of y'all don't fuck with AI. It's cool, you know, it's cool. Oh yeah, and by the way, shout out to AI. We using all the tools over here for growth. Any tool that is in your environment that can be used to send you on the next level, to push you to that next step, fucking use it. You ain't too good to use a computer, to use artificial intelligence, right? And so, as I was in a conversation with with Chad, it said something about spiritual maturity. I was like, hold up, wait, what? The fuck is the hell is spiritual maturity, right? And so I took that term, took it to a different AI platform, and then explained it to me. And as I'm reading it, I'm like, damn, this shit sounds like me. It sounds like me, right? And so, when I heard it, I was like, man, what is that? But like I said, after I got the explanation of what it was, I was like, damn, that's what I've been pretty much working on. Like, that's what my whole journey, not, well, I guess you can say my whole journey is about: finding my voice, right? Bringing the wisdom from sky level or high level to eye level, right? Bringing information out the ethers and, you know, stepping into my Aquarius energy and, you know, pouring it out. And so today, we're going to be we're about to break down what spiritual maturity is, how to recognize it in yourself, of course, and most importantly, how do you practice it when life is testing you? Because, like, we always feel like every corner we go through is an obstacle, is a hurdle, is some kind of challenge or tension or test, right? This little boy comical as hell. And so, before we dive in, let me check y'all temperature and shit real quick. Got my thermometer. Let's see what. See what y'all temperature is. Um, Participation part, right? This is where the participation trophies come in. This is where your participation grade come in at. If you ever caught yourself about to react to something and chose differently in the moment, put a check in the comments. If you're still working on it, still catching yourself even after the reaction, put two checks in the comment. Either way it goes, no judgment, just want to see where everybody at. Right? Because, like I said, I didn't even know that was a damn thing until yesterday. So, y'all doing that, let me get some of this go-go juice. All right, all right. I see you, I see you. So, let's get into it. So, when I asked AI about spiritual maturity, here's pretty much what I learned. And like I said, as I was reading it, I was like, damn, this sounds like me. Like, it sounds like everything that I'm working on, have worked on, and what I'm working to. So, oh, goodness, excuse me. So, I'm going to share these with you. I'm going to connect them real life, my life, so all of y'all can see what it looks like. First marker, moving beyond black and white thinking, being able to hold paradoxes. What that means is we can hold two truths at the same time, even if they seem opposite. Like the flat tire was inconvenient, and at the same time, it it might have protected me from something that would have happened either on my way to work or while I was at work or on the way from work. Where sit down and be quiet. So, you know, I can be frustrated about the work situation, about the work situation, how I'm going to get the money for the day out of the midst. And I could also trust that it's unfolding the way it's supposed to because remember, if y'all don't know my saying, nothing happens to you, everything happens for you, right? And so you're not collapsing into everything is good or everything is terrible. You're right there in the middle, holding both, staying steady, right? A second marker, groundedness. We must be grounded in order to peep things, right? Because being grounded means you're not blown around by every emotion or circumstance. You control the way your ship sails, right? You control if you have a good day or if you have a bad day, right? Y'all control that. Y'all control that, right? This don't mean you don't feel things. What's up, Gala? This don't mean you don't feel. It means you feel it, you acknowledge it, but you don't let it control you, right? Because that's what we fuck up at, by letting shit control us. The flat tire could have derailed my whole day, right? My whole day. It could have started, I could have went out there, seen my tire flat, and been like, fuck, turned around, stormed back in the house, fired the rest of my blunt up, and been pissed off the rest of the day. But I stayed grounded. I felt the frustration, just a little. Then I brushed the shit off because, like I said, I was already buzzed. And for all my smokers out there, when you buzz, don't much bother you. Hell, if anything bothers you. But I chose a different story. I didn't choose to go down the street of frustration, right? A third marker, less reactive and defensive. That's that space. There's a space between the trigger and the response. It's that space right there. This is huge. Y'all pay attention to this part. This is huge. When something happens, somebody says something slick, something goes wrong, do you react immediately or is there a pause? You ain't got to put it in the chat, but just think to yourself. If there's a pause, that pause right there is the maturity. That pause is right where we want to be. I've been told a couple times, you know, you they don't say you take too long to think, but they probably wish that I would respond sooner than I do. Like I said, I never heard of the term until yesterday, but all of those times, that's the maturity part of me responding to said whatever, right? That's us gaining control over our own nervous system, right? So for me, the flat tire was my trigger. Old me would have reacted almost instantly. Fuck this shit. Took my hat off, like I say, slung my hat. I carry a bag with me, a little man purse. It's not a man purse, but it's a bag for my work. I could have came in the house and threw that shit. I could have just reacted, but I didn't. Part of my growth. Proud of myself. I'm even more proud of myself that I didn't come back in the house and hit the rest of that blunt. It took me up until last night to finish it off, and my day started at 4:30. So the new me, right? There was space, and in that space, I chose different. You always have a choice. Don't let anybody trick you into thinking you don't have a choice. You always have a choice to go with choice A, choice B, C, D, however many choices you have. You always have a choice. You either, you may have some crappy things to choose from. It could be a pile of shit or a pile of shit on fire. Which one you want, right? So, fourth marker, compassion becomes natural. We ain't gotta force it. It's not a performance act, right? You gotta fake it till you make it. Remember that shit, right? Faking it till you make it only works at the job place, right? You stop being kind just to look good or get something. You're kind because you understand the struggle. You understand everybody suffers from something. It may be small to you, but hell, their threshold for pain might not be as big as yours, right? You got compassion for yourself, and having compassion for yourself allows you to have compassion for others because you know we all go through something. We all have gone through some. We all are currently going through some, and we all will go through some, whether it be good or bad. But since we're talking about suffering and struggles and unfortunate events, inconvenience, everybody goes through that shit. And look, I'm still working on this with certain people. Like I said last night, I ain't never knew it was a such thing as selective patience either. I, but we're gonna get into that later. But the point is, compassion stops being something you do and it starts to be something you are. Another marker, a fifth marker. That's true, Gala. That's true. That is so true. And so the fifth marker of spiritual maturity, that shift from what can I get, what can I get, to what can I offer? And that's big for me because I'm a fucking double Aquarius. My fucking astrology chart, my numerology chart, my soul contract. And now that I'm looking into my 13 moon cycle chart, all of this shit is just pointing to teacher, pointing to guide, someone who shares their experience and wisdom with the galaxy. Oh hell no, can't ask someone what they bring to the table. Hey man, some people take that question as offensive. So so pretty much, yeah. I mean, now you can ask what they bring to the table, but that's not a sign of maturity, unfortunately. Now, this one hit for me because of my work situation, right? For about 9 months now. What's up, Andy? Hey, Andy, we're on YouTube. If you want to come over there, the whole gang's over there. It's a whole party. Bring your bonbons, your blessings, and your cups. Now, like I was saying, okay, um, for about 9 months, right? 8 or 9 months, I've been pretty much asking for a promotion, right? What if they say a knife and a fork? Then that's what they bring to the table. At least they bringing something, right? So, I've been asking for this manager position, and I ain't gonna lie. At first, it was about the money. I don't really care about status. Well, it was partly about status because I wanted to get some motherfuckers up out the door. But that's neither here nor there. And so, me being about partly about the status, the title, and the money, that was ego. That was all ego. And so, I wanted the title, right? I did. I did. I wanted the title because the title came with more pay. So yeah, I wanted the title. What's going on, resting witch face? You know, the validation, right? But not outside of validation, but more of internal validation, right? Yeah, I deserve this shit, and not to mention my Aquarius knocking. Hey, bro, we ain't taking orders from motherfuckers too long, so we need to hurry up and move up. You know, so then I started asking myself, is this really what you want? And yes was my answer. And so I continued to ask myself that, and I was like, let's change that question. Instead of is this what I really want? Let's change that question to what do I really want? Then guess what? Aquarius goddamn ripped open his shirt, big ass A, like the S on Superman's chest, right? And the answer I came up with is service. I like helping people. I do. Only the motherfuckers who goddamn willing to be helped. And so while I work, everybody needs help there. And so that's me just literally being in my Aquarian energy. I want to flip the culture, right? Turnover rate is through the roof. I want to turn that around. And if I'm manager or in a managerial position, I can spend more time with the patients, getting to know what the fuck they like, what they want. Not so much what they want because a lot of them are just big babies. We ain't we gonna take care of you, but I'm not in the business of catering. We'll leave that to the restorative dietitians, right? We'll leave that to them. They can cater. And so if I was given that position tomorrow, first thing I do, mandatory 15-minute meditation session before you begin your shift. Sit or go get in bed. I don't care. Right? And so with this 15-minute meditation before shift starts, this gives everybody, myself included, that space and opportunity to align with harmony, align with balance, and go on about our day. Get in here, let's up there and wash these dishes, let's cook this food, let's serve these patients, and let's go the fuck home. Smoothly, because we all got to be here with each other for 8 hours. And I ain't trying to be arguing with your dumb ass. I'm not trying to be arguing with nobody for 8 hours because of whatever happens, right? And so that promotes alignment instead of stress, right? And that there is the shift from chasing something, chasing status, to chasing impact. Now, is there a moment where somebody out there in chat land, out of those 5 markers, which one resonated with y'all? I'll read them again. The 5 markers. Paradox. Being able to hold 2 paradoxes at the same time. Triggers and response. Compassion or service. Which one? Slower. Paradox. Groundedness. Space between triggers and response. Compassion or service. Which one resonates with y'all the most? Right now, like right now at this moment. Don't overthink it. Just drop it in the chat. You see where everybody at. Because for me, it's definitely service. For me right now, like at this moment. Because why? Why is it surface hell? Because I'm serving y'all, right? Every time I press play on this live stream, it's in being in service to y'all. Every time me and the missus sit down, it's in service to her. Every time me and the kids talk about whatever, and it's a teaching moment, it's a service to them. So we got Dee Dee with the compassion and service, protect and serve. So pretty much service, right? Service. We're gonna come back to that. We're gonna come back to service. So here's the thing. Let's be real. Spiritual maturity, let's be real. This shit ain't no one size fit all. Hell no, this shit custom fit. You got to go to the Galaxy Tailor to get fit for this type of suit. We all got different places where we're strong, different places, but we still got some work to do. I ain't gonna say we because weak is insinuating that just can't do nothing, right? So for me, I got patience, right? Let me say I'm gonna get to that later. It's later. I have patience, right? I think that I need to work on patience, and I do. I do need to work on my patience, right? But it's selective though, so it's I never knew there was a such thing as selective patience until yesterday. Yeah, I had to fucking reflect. I had to sit down and think about some shit that I was experiencing. I'm like, damn, I'm selective with my patience. It's fine, Star Girl. That's awesome. We gonna get back to that service later. So That selectivity, y'all, that's where growth is. That's where the omniverse is still mirroring what I'm going through, what I'm putting out. It's still what higher self wants me to know. It's still what higher self is teaching me. I still got work to do. Like Steve Harvey say, he ain't done with me. He ain't through with me. All right. I ain't through with me yet. All right. I got this little joke that I'm gonna be here 120 years. I got some shit to do. And it's gonna take a lot of years to do the shit because it's stank down here, according to some multi-dimensional personality. Fucking stinks. And so, see, these places where our patience disappears the fastest, those are our spiritual gems. That's when we hit the weights. That's when we got down work on our free throw. That's when we got down is spiritual boot camp. When we got down conditioning if you're playing sports. Those are where soul is saying we still got reps to do, y'all. We still got some work to put in. So for me, patience, let me tell you what my patience and selectivity at. Got two areas, two big ones for me, and I fucking can't stand either one of them. Closed-minded people. I cannot stand a closed-minded person. I cannot stand when somebody is so closed-minded they get stuck in their ways, thinking that they can't or won't even consider another perspective. Like, you ain't gotta agree with me at all. Matter of fact, I kind of like when people argue from a healthy debate standpoint, right? But you ain't gotta agree with me, but at least be open to the shit that I'm saying. Because the shit I'm kicking, I know you ain't never heard it before, but you gonna argue it. And I realize these people are mirrors. 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 Can you go get her? And what they're showing me is where I still need to hold my peace, right? Where I still need to not let somebody else's energy pull me out of my frequency because I can go there real quick, like real quick. So they're testing me, saying, "You sure you want this inner peace thing? You sure? You sure you want it?" Matter of fact, I got a better question. You sure you got it? Let's see if you really got it. Boom. Close minding this person. Because the key is staying calm when the energy is heavy. When somebody else's energy is so heavy on you, just staying calm. I remember I had my first spiritual event, right? I did some meditation, start seeing blue flashes and shit. And I was listening to somebody, can't remember on who it was, but I was listening to somebody and As I was drifting from this realm to another realm, all I heard was the individual say was, stay calm, just keep calm. Though he was saying it inside the video, there was a reason why that's the only part of the video I was hearing as I was fading away, slipping away from this realm. Staying calm is the key. The second, oh my goodness, this thing called the law of opposites. If you don't know what it is, I did a video on it. Go check it out. Basically, this is when you turn the light back on. This is when you want something new. Like, I'm done stressing. And immediately the opposite shows up, right? You say, I want peace. Chaos shows up. Doom, 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 doom. Who is it? It's your boy K. K to the Oz. Here I am. You commit to discipline, and then temptation shows up. It's your boy Till. What's happening? So for me, it shows up with people, specifically at work, like dishonesty, run around. Like, I've been asking for that position for 9 months. We done went through 4 kitchen managers, 3 district managers, and out of those 7 people, only one has actually gave off energy as, all right, we gonna actually get you up in here. We're gonna work to get you this position. But of course, that person has people that they have to answer to. And when it goes past his head, over his head to another level, more runaround, more can run around. You know, and within that runaround, it's pretty much a nice way of saying no. Like, I make sure that when I leave out this door every day, I got my big boy drawers on. So ain't nothing you can say that's gonna make me feel like I ain't worthy. Hey, what you think about this? Yes or no? Fucking got 8 kids. I tell they've heard no from me a lot. Think I'm scared of hearing no? So I can handle a no. What I can't handle is the bullshit ass mask. The stories. Oh, you do this and we gonna see. I gotta come over here and I gotta evaluate the kitchen. I gotta make sure that all of this is looking good. Then I gotta talk to this person. Motherfucker, you ain't even in the building long enough to make that type of assessment. But I digress. Just tell me straight up. Tell me, nah, this is Superman. Superman print on. But, you know, here's what I'm learning though. The frustration, it ain't really about them. It's still about me, right? Because as a human, you don't control the not. You don't control a goddamn thing but your actions. I want damn the position when the fuck I wanted it, and I want the pay that I want right now. But that ain't the way the cookies been crumbling. I still wanted it to happen on my timeline in my way, and that's not it. That's not the way it goes. The law of opposite is teaching me that to trust divine timing, right? But the question for me is, do I really? I do. I do. Now I'm asking y'all out there in the chat, do y'all trust divine timing? Because if not, that might be something we want to work on. So I've been pretty much this whole time an open book. This whole life lie has been about my life. Now I don't let y'all behind my curtain. I want to look behind y'all curtain. I need everybody in the class to participate. No selective participation. What makes your patience evaporate? What makes your patience evaporate? Is it work? Is it family? Is it money? Is it relationships? People being late? People lying? Or it could be none of those and add your own. What is it? I want to hear. I want to hear. What is your patience evaporator? Or is it just the type of person that gets you? Which one is it? No judgment, only awareness. That's it. Only awareness, no judgment. Some things divinely fall in place. I'm an Aries. Other than people make me impatient when they can't deal with their own gala. Goodness. Man. Man. Yeah. So give y'all a couple more ticks to put what evaporates your patience. But I feel you though. I feel you. I feel you. All right. And see, we all have our spots that work needs to be done. Work don't stop as long as this damn body has breath and life and the liquid life flows through your veins. You always got work to do. And here's the thing. Okay, stay on the goddamn dock. Matter of fact, don't even come to the dock. Stay your ass at the house. I don't want to see you. Tell that ass to stay at home, Gala. But here's the thing, those aren't obstacles. They're mirrors, right? And if y'all was with me about 2 lives ago, the universe don't got your back. The universe is a mirror. Go check it out. That sounds like an intriguing title to you. Go check it out. Right? They're showing you exactly where you still got work to do. Now, here's a deeper question. I want y'all to take your time and think about this. Don't answer it right away. Think about it. Like really give it some thought. When whatever trigger you has hit, do you recognize it right away? Like, can you be, oh no, this is a test. I see you, universe. Oh, or does it catch you emotionally, right? And you only realize it later because we were so much in the moment. We're like, damn, I got triggered. Like, hey, turn it down some more. All right, be honest with yourself. Now, if you catch it in real time, put an eye emoji in the chat. If you catch it at a later time, put a clock in the chat. Eye in the chat if you catch it in real time. I caught it in real time. Right? Makes sense to me at least. Or if you waited later to catch it, like, damn, fuck, put that clock. Now, I want to see when y'all are catching it. If y'all are catching it at all. If you're not catching it, well, you got to catch it. If you do any type of reflecting, you got to catch it. Right? If you're not real time present as it's unfolding, well, the goal is to catch the gap, right? Catch it. See, there you go. There you go. There you go. I ain't say nothing about no dot. But, catch it while it's happening. And it's okay if thank you, DD. And I'm gonna take the little smart guy above you, his whatever that damn thing is, his director's thing. I'm gonna take that as a clock. And so most of most of us is catching it after the fact. That's where we're all starting, catching it after the fact. Good thing you catching it at all, right? Like I said, the goal is to close the gap, to catch it while it's happening. Like I did yesterday with the tire. Now, I spoke about the law of opposites and divine timing earlier. I think it's about time to get into this a little bit deeper. I think the law of opposites is where a lot of people get stuck. A lot of people get right there and tuck tail, go back in the house and finish the blunt. So here's how it works. Declare a new intention. Say, I'm stepping into something new, committed to peace, discipline, and growth. And just like clockwork, universe send you the exact opposite of what the hell you just asked for. Right? I ain't got time for the drama. Positive vibes only. And guess what? Drama shows up at your front door. You want to be financially stable, you get hit with unexpected bills like a flat tire. You commit to sobriety, and guess what? You faced with every trigger that a person can have to send you back in that cup, back on that cigarette, back on that blunt. The temptation is there, right? Everywhere. And it feels like a punishment at a time, but it's not. It's not, right? You like, what up, Tay? And so, it feels like punishment. It feels like, why me? Right, Tay? I'm trying to be better, but life is making it harder, right? But here's the reframe work. Here's how we reframe that. Here's how we look at that through a reframed pair of frames, right? You're not being punished, you're being tested. You're being asked, does your frequency match your words? Is the energy you're putting out matching the shit that's coming out your mouth? Are you really ready for the next level? A lot of people may say no and then get right back where they were because that's where they're comfortable at. And it's okay. It's your right to be comfortable on whatever level you're on. It's your right not to grow if you don't want to. Hey, call me Planet Fitness, judgment free zone in a negative light. You get no negative judgment from me, right? So for me, as y'all heard the story, y'all been hearing the story pretty much this whole life. It's the manager position for me. 9 months, seven managers, and I'm getting nothing but the runaround and delays. Yeah, old me would have been bitter, probably would have quit. Right? I would have been like, man, you know what? Fuck this place. I'm out of here. They don't fuck with me like that. They don't appreciate me. They about to lose a good worker. But new me, leaning into my arrow of inquirer, I ask different questions now. I ask more questions now. I ask questions for people to speak to what the hell I want them to speak to in a way where they can't give me the runaround directly. And people don't like me being direct. So that delay that I was speaking about, what if that delay is actually protection, right? What if I'm not ready yet? Not because I'm not capable, but because the environment isn't ready. Because I was told in one of my astrology reads that when I speak, the earth trembles. You know, what if all these managers leaving is a cleansing process, right? With the old and with the new type deals, right? Or we could look at it as a spring cleaning type deal. You know, maybe there's a cleanse going on. So when I do step in, I got the right support system backing me up. And that's a lot of our downfall, right? Especially, right? It ain't about this, but especially right here, we don't support no one, and we damn sure don't support each other. If you're trying to go somewhere, you're trying to get to a new level, you need a support system. You need some type of support. And self motivation is not what's needed all the time. Or maybe the lesson for me is even way more simpler than that. That ain't my path. Maybe I'm not supposed to manage a kitchen. I'm supposed to manage consciousness, right? Yeah, it's meant for me to level up, but maybe not in that system. Maybe I'm supposed to build my own. Hence self, right? I don't know which one it is, but I'm trusting the process, right? I'm trusting the delay. I'm trusting vine tr- the vine timing or the divine timing. So, have y'all ever had to look back on something that didn't work out? A job you didn't get, relationship that ended, a plan that fell through, and realize later that by the plan not going through, that actually saved you from something. Yes, if you can see it now, no, if you're still waiting. And it's okay if you're still waiting to see it. Hell, it's a lot of shit I ain't see until yesterday. Maybe because you have selective patience, that ain't happened yet. No, it's not because of the patience. I don't know what it is, but I doubt it's because of the patience because I have to be patient. If I still want to be in that position, if I still want to hold that position, I gotta be patient. So sometimes, sometimes we can't see in the moment, but when we look back with some space, with and a lot of amount of time passed by, with distance, we like, oh, that's why that door closed. That's why I didn't get such and such. That's why such and such ended. Oh. So if you in something right now that ain't working out the way you want it, hold that space for the possibility that it's protection. Because as we shift our perspective from being a why me to a oh, this is why, shit will start to open up. You will feel less obligated to react, you know, and that possibility for protection, That's the reroute. That's the reroute, right? Higher self got something better aligned for you because higher self sits up here, right? Higher self sits up here. Us in this meat suit down here. Higher self is on the top of the mountain. We're in the valley. Higher self sees everything. You only see what's in front of you, right? Then we go from validation to impact. Now, right here, I want to talk about intention because this is where it's going to depend what side of the teeter totter seesaw scale you sit on. Because spiritual maturity is also about knowing the difference between chasing validation and chasing impact. Validation is, I want this so people see me differently. I want this so I can be accepted. I want this so I can be insert. Pretty much so you can prove something. Impact is, I want this so I can change something. So I can serve somebody and not serve them ass whooping. So I can offer something meaningful to the planet, to my community. And look, both of those can be true at the same damn time. You can want the recognition and want to serve. But the question is, which one is driving you? Is the impact driving you or is the validation driving you? Put it in the chat. Which one is driving your boat right now? Validation or impact? Like I said, for me, it started about this manager position. I ain't gonna lie. Some of it was ego. Like I said, some of it was. I wanted to feel like I was moving up, though I would have been moving up, right? But the more I sat with it, the more I realized that I didn't want the title. I didn't want the validation. I still wanted the money, though. What I really wanted to do was change the environment, right? Flip the energy, be a better of service to the residents, to the patients, because I can give them more attention. I can be more parent, more present, and I could, offer more care. And here's the vision. If I become manager, like I said, y'all already know, 15-minute mandatory meditation. Come in, everybody sit down for 15 minutes, breathe, get aligned, get grounded, and let's go knock these 8 hours out. Instead of walking into an already stressed situation, already reactive, already burnt out, people come in present. People come in present. Right? They come in on the bullshit, aware of the bullshit. And that energy ripples out into everything. Teamwork is better, turnover rate is lower, and the patients feel it. Right? That's not mastery. That's ministry. That's service. And that's the shift between that's the shift spiritual maturity brings. Stop chasing titles and start chasing purpose. So here we go. All right, Dee Dee, have an awesome night yourself. Thanks for coming through. I hope you learned something. Now, if you got the thing you've been asking for tomorrow, the job, the relationship, the opportunity, the recognition, what's the first thing you change or create with it? Now, here's the thing about that. Here's the real question. Is it for you or is it for service? Take a second, think about it. Think about it. Drop it in the chat or don't. But when your intention is clean, you can feel it. Ain't no second guessing, ain't no half stepping. So we done talked about what spiritual maturity is, how to recognize growth edges, how to reframe obstacles. Now let's be practical about it. Y'all remember the DK Live, right? We talked about the moment where you justify something you know ain't right, but everybody's doing it is your excuse. That's part of a daily practice. That is the shadow side of the light side of being practical, of actually putting these things into practice. Like I say, we've talked about how to reframe it. Now we're about to get practical with it because it's not a theory. It's not a theory. This isn't something I'm pondering about. Right? This is something we got to practice every day. So I'm about to give you 5 tangible practices that we can do every day, or we can choose one and do that. And at the end of these practices, I want you to commit to just one. For 7 days, commit to one. Catching yourself in real time. That flat tire moment, something happens that would normally trigger you, pause, don't react, just notice. This is a test. Name that test out loud if you have to. All right, I'm feeling triggered. What's the lesson here? Even for 5 seconds, that pause is right where the power is. Right? That's maturity. Right? that everybody doing it is the decay. When I caught myself before I went to finish my blunt, just to cope with the situation, when I paused and asked, hey man, what if this is saving me from something? That there is the maturity. That's the remedy to the decay. Reframe obstacles as protection. Something goes wrong. Ask yourself, what if the delay is saving me from something worse? What if this no is making space for a bigger yes? What if the resistance is actually redirection? You ain't got to believe it right away. Just ask the question. Let your mind start looking for the possibility, right? In the Decay Live, we talked about how apathy and numbness sets in when you stop feeling inspired but keep pretending that everything's okay. That's what happens when you don't reframe. When my flat tire happened, right, I didn't just collapse into a why me? This is bullshit. Nothing ever works out, right? When we do that, we ain't doing nothing but feeding the decay. But when we flip it, what if the delay is just save me from something, right? That's maturity, polishing that rust, right? Practice three. Things that Another thing you can do. Identify your growth edges, right? We did this earlier, right? What makes your patience disappear the fastest? Where do you get defensive? Where do you lose your control? Write it down. Those are your spiritual gems. Those are the areas where soul is still trying to get you to learn. And when you know your growth edges, you can prepare for them. You can catch yourself faster, right? In the Decay Live, talked about how external influences replace inner guidance. How you let the algorithm, the trending audio, the peer validation tell you who to be. That's decay. But when you identify the triggers, your growth edges, and you know them, when closed-minded people show up in you, catch yourself like, oh, this is my gym. Let me hit them weights. This is where I'm learning patience, real-time maturity, right? No longer letting external pull you this way, pull you that way. We're not allowing external to pull our center off balance because we know our internal work. We know. We just fucking know. And if you've been around you as long as I've been around me, you know how much work you put in. I hope you do. I hope. If you don't, it's okay, right? So, another practice, check your intuition. Not intuition, intention. Before you chase something, a goal, a person, a position, ask yourself, what am I doing this for? Validation or impact? Am I trying to prove something or am I trying to serve something? Got to get honest there because there's no wrong answer. But knowing why you want something changes how you pursue it. It changes how you go about getting it. Your approach changes. It's a different approach. So, practice 5. Honor your commitment. Don't just honor it to the future you. There's one blunt regimen for me. It's the meditation. It's my meditation practice, right? It's one form of meditation for me. This is a boundary I set. I gotta keep my word to myself because me trying to fake the funk in front of y'all ain't doing shit. It ain't doing nothing but prolonging my damn progress. It ain't doing nothing but putting my end result further and further away. Keep the promise to yourself, especially when it's inconvenient, especially when it's hard, when the tough gets going, because that's integrity. That is textbook spiritual maturity. Because anybody can keep a promise when it's easy. The real growth happens when it's hard, and you still can choose your future. You can choose the easy path or you can take the hard path. Now, I don't know how many of y'all have checked out by now, but for those that are still here, out of those 5 practices, which one are you going to commit to? Number 1, catch yourself in real time. Number 2, reframe obstacles as protection. Number 3, identify your growth edges. Number 4, check your intentions. Or number 5, honor commitments to future you. Now, whichever one you choose, hold yourself to it. And if you slip, that's okay. That's part of the process too. Don't beat yourself up. Just get back up, dust your shoulders off, and keep it moving. Try to catch yourself next time. And so I usually have reflection questions at the end, but I've asked all my questions during. So, we've been going for this for a while. And so I've been trying to practice on bringing things full circle. So let's give it a go. Let's bring this whole thing full circle. Spiritual maturity is not about being perfect. It's not about being enlightened or having all the answers or never messing up. It's about awareness. It's about catching yourself. It's about choosing differently, even if it's just one time out of 10 at first. It's about moving from why is this happening to me to what is this trying to teach me? It's about shifting from an ego driven to service driven, from reacting to responding, from control to trust. And look, I'm still working on this my damn self. So, like I said earlier, I struggle with patience. When I deal with closed-minded individuals, I get so fucking frustrated, right? I still get upset and more frustrated about the runaround. Right? I still want answers now, but higher self is saying not now. When I'm like, I need an answer now, higher self like, nah, G, sit back and hit spiritual blunt. Not just yet, Chief. This ain't the work. Oh, this ain't the move that we going for. You don't get it right now, but that's the work. And like I said, it never stops. We just get better at it. Right? We get better at recognizing the test. We get better at pausing before we react. We get better at trusting the process, the reroute, the delay. We get better at all of that. The flat tire yesterday, that was a win. Not because I handled it perfectly, because I noticed it. I caught myself. I chose different. And that's what I want from all of y'all, from every one of us, right? I don't care about perfection. It's not about perfection, just awareness. One choice at a time. Now, before we get out of here, hey, Mystical, how are you? I want to hear from y'all one more time before we get out of here. Right? What's the one thing shifting for you right now after this conversation? One thing, one awareness, one commitment, one reframe, one thing you're taking with you. Drop it in the chat before I let you go. That's good, Mystical. I want to say as if anybody's still here. Mystical, were you here for spiritual decay? Did that about 2 weeks ago. If not, this live was pretty much part two. Now, we're all building together. This isn't just me talking to you. We're growing together. You think so? Well, so this is part two of the spiritual decay. Um, Catch the playback. I'm about to get up out of here. Um, Next live we gonna get into something. I don't know what. It's gonna be something. So stay locked in. If you're new here, subscribe to the page, hit the bell, ring the bell for all notifications so you can get every post. You can get a notification for every post. I can get a notification for every live. However you gotta do it to stay connected. And if this resonated with you, go ahead and share this live. Tag somebody in it who needs to hear this. Really spread this energy. I thank every last one of y'all for showing up, for being vulnerable in this time of vulnerability, for being willing to look yourself in the mirror and grow. And that right there is spiritual maturity. Until next time, y'all, peace. And remember, you're all stars, so shine like